Welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here. Today we are concluding the Lightning Character Review Part 3, the Optimization. We're going through the Esper Synergies, the Weapon Optimization, the Vision Card Analysis, and then the Truststones. So without waiting any longer, the Esper side of things, what you want to look for modifiers. Lightning Attack and Human Killer are by far the most impactful modifiers you can find because they are universal to all of her attacks in the kit. She is very dependent on both Slash and Missile pretty equally. She uses both those attack types pretty regularly. Obviously, Slash Attack and Missile Attack also very valuable here, just not as consistent. And then Crit Hit and Crit Damage also have a place in time where Lightning as a unit does have some abilities that rely on critically hitting something, and Lightning as a cast of characters does have a lot of damage upside with their crit rates and crit damage application of it. Now, you can also bulk her as necessary for certain kinds of resistances. Not a lot of defense options, and definitely no real spirit options to gear her for. But if we look at some of my favorite Espers overall, this is a super broad list. My favorites really going from left to right here. I do think these three on the left are my favorite options. They all have some element of Lightning Attack or Human Killer here. I do think Golem is a half-decent option that I don't have listed here because he also does have Human Killer and 15 defense, but is the slowest out of a lot of these Espers. And there's not a lot of other board nodes that really do a lot for Lightning per se. So honorable mention, but from these five on the left in particular, they all have some element of crit rate, crit damage, decent enough agility where Odin and Dark Odin skew a little bit higher. For the modifiers, I have here listed out their 30 slash attack, but you have to recall they have a lot of board flexibility too, where Odin has both missile, accuracy, and slash resistance. Dark Odin has slash resistance, magic resistance, and a couple other things. So overall, I like both of them for their flexibility. And then Corlin Scorpion are by far my favorite offensive output Espers. I think you're safe if you stay anywhere in the range of these five. Now, there is a little bit of a niche application of the ones on the right here. Omega and Two-Headed Dragon, the attack stat skews a little bit higher. They both still retain those crit rate percentage upgrades. Two-Headed Dragon is technically the highest attack stat you can give her, but overall the modifiers are way more impactful for her damage than just a little bit extra attack. And then Brachiosaur I like just as a faster Esper, but also having that missile attack, the crit rate, and the magic resistance, which really leads into that extra magic resistance that she has innately. And Ogre is just a really good cheap Esper overall. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of these listed here, but the five on the left, by far the best. Now, you look at the weapon optimization, it's really the Blazefire Saber, and it's not even close. I know I give you guys a lot of options here. This is by far the best weapon. Nothing even comes close, even the Coral Sword, not even remotely close. Now, if you look at the attributes of the box stats here, as we call it, the slash attack 15, missile attack 15, accuracy of 15, all for lightning in particular. It also gives her lightning attack of 30 and a 30% reduced enemy counter chance. So overall, exceptionally good attributes here. I actually like both the assault and the aim build, and there's a reason why, just from a min-maxing perspective, that I think both are valuable and you should absolutely have one of each. Now, assault obviously makes sense from the higher attack perspective, 156 versus the 109, but in the aim build, 18 accuracy is not insignificant. This 18 with her 15 is a total of 33%. If you're to consider the Alexandrite ring, which is a total of 40%, that's not a massive drop off in percentage rate here, but one of the reasons why I want you to craft an evade set is because I think that 33%, although isn't as high as you might be able to get it, is more economical, and particularly for that B tier evasion like Halloween Leela, Dark Leela, Joker, those Elena's, Locks of the world, Lightning is not going to fare well against them overall. But if you are talking about equipping the Blazefire Saber, aim build, and the Alexandrite ring, technically what would happen is this accuracy of 15 would mean nothing. This accuracy of 18 would get cut in half because it's not as high as the Alexandrite rings of 20. And so technically, all in all, net effect, you'd still become 16% more accurate with the Alexandrite ring, but now you've used up a valuable equipment slot for something like extra modifiers or bulkiness or whatever that may be. So although it's good and certainly mathematically increases the accuracy rate, I overall just like the aim build a little bit better from an economical standpoint. But if you are trying to still get her accuracy up and don't want to equip the Alexandrite ring for some of that overlap, I do think there's a really interesting piece of equipment to use if you're using the assault build here, and that's the 3 stars accessory back from Trials of Reckoning. Most of you probably have the spear build of this, but those of you that have enough recipes, there is an aim build where it gives her 15 accuracy, but the decreased AP consumption of 20% I think is really good for Lightning. Anytime you see AP percentage up or decreased AP consumption for Lightning, I really think you should look into that. It's such a good way to make sure she sustains her damage uptime. Now we look at the vision card analysis. Her vision card in particular really excellent. It's almost a good problem we have that we have 2 cards now with 20 AoE resistance. For this card in particular, it's attack 10% to the unit, accuracy 15, crit damage 10, crit rate of 10. All great things for lightning. For the party, it's the AoE resistance of 20, the lightning attack of 18 is exceptionally good, and the crit evade 20, very slept on stat. Not enough people know about it. I'm probably going to do a whole video on it soon, on its impact and where you can get the most out of it. But overall, good vision card, but not the best in my opinion, but it is a contender. If we are talking about my favorite cards for the main job, this is one of them, provided you don't have the Ibarra card already on someone else in your party. And obviously your party members are a massive influence on what you want to equip anyways. But I do like the Esther card as well, provided you're not using Esther in your party. That slash resistance penetration to 35 is massively important for lightning. She gets attack 30% for herself, but the unit resistance of 20 also incredibly important. This should be somewhere in your party. And then I also like the Aegeon card as well, where lightning does get 20 slash resistance penetration here. That does stack with the party ability of the Esther card. So you're talking easily 100% slash resistance penetration after her limit break and some Truststones. This also gives her slash attack 20. She does get the added effect of the card, but also I like the slash attack 25, the accuracy 15, the HP 25%. All these excellent candidates for your main slot. Now these cards in the sub slots, I have the stats listed here as if you equipped them on the sub slot. I do like Fred's Dream for a variety of reasons. Obviously the lightning attack modifier, missile attack 18 is great for her, and if you're using someone like Cloud who also does a lot of missile attacks. But the missile resistance 10 I also like for some of those lightning mirror matchups, but also when you're going against ice, where they're primarily going to be missile units going forward here with Eliza and Elia, that this card certainly does help. I also like the Scorpion Sentinel a lot. This is definitely a candidate for the main slot as well. It's not only sub slots, but anytime you have a card that has that nice 50% buff, it also retains a lot of its value as a sub card. So although the unit effects here aren't all that impactful, the attack 25%, the crit rate 7, the slash res 10, all still really great things for a sub vision card. And then finally, my favorite, I think, out of the 3 is the Coral vision card here, where it gives lightning 6% agility, lightning attack of 10 to the party, dexterity of 9% to the party, and acquired AP 24% to the party. Again, that acquired AP, you want as many of those as you can potentially get, or at least have like one of them somewhere in your party at all times, whether it's on a Truststone or a vision card or a piece of equipment, wherever it may be. But this is a really economical way to get it. I love this card. Now we look at the Truststone optimization. The left side here, no real surprises. HP and luck. The TP one actually might be a surprise, but I'll talk about that in a second. HP, universally excellent. The luck one, you really want to go for if you're trying to increase your accuracy overall. The TP one kind of gets into that theory crafting about Eliza, where the benefit of the TP Truststone set here is that you get acquired AP of 25%. Now for someone like Lightning, her missile ability is semi-long range. She does also have some decently long range abilities otherwise, that if you think she's not going to be getting hit as often, or you have a Resnick in the party that can easily heal her if she does, I do think the TP set is that trade-off for survivability for extra offensive output, just by the standard that you're going to use more abilities because you'll have more AP to do so. But if you're looking at the passives on the left side, HP 10%, luck 10%, crit evade 15, no surprises from what I normally recommend. I do like the attack debuff resistance of 50% because her base attack is tied for highest in the game, that you will lose a decent amount of attack stat when you do get debuffed. The rest of it, per usual, is matchup dependent. Now for the right side though, I think there's a handful of candidates, but by far the best one is the agility. I think AP and attack are also very valuable, but agility seems to be the winner in almost all instances, unless you're specifically trying to tweak the order of how your teammates move. And then I actually think she's one of the few units where you could entertain a crit build as well, where her crit rate isn't as naturally high as some of her lightning units, but it can get very high with a little bit of love, and the crit damage potential certainly is there. So being able to lean into that kind of build on lightning is a definite way to exceed what the enemy might be ready for in handling how much crit damage they take. Now for the passives, attack 20%, defensive penetration of 10. I love both of these. I really like the slash attack and missile attack resistance penetration of 10 on their own Truststone as well. And it's not just Lightning that likes that. There's a handful of characters that overlap. I know Joker is one of them. Veneer is one. Cloud is one. There's a lot of characters that have both slash and missile. So I do like having at all times one Truststone ready to go with both of those on it. Lightning is certainly a character that will appreciate it, but also love the acquired AP of 20%, the crit rate or crit rate damage of 10 as well. And again, this is where you get to play with things. If you already have enough acquired AP, like the Curl Vision card, you might not need the Truststone passive, so you can put something else here instead. If you already have a crit rate you're comfortable with, you can go for the crit damage instead. If you know that you're going to be using the Resnick, you go for the healing power 10. The dexterity 5%, sure, throw it in there. Her base dexterity isn't that high, so you're not going to get as much from it as most characters, but it does help overall. So by increasing her dex stat, there's not necessarily a downside to it. It's just maybe not as, again, economical, for whatever that word means to you. But overall, really hard to go wrong with some of those options on the right. But that is the Lightning Review Part 3 in a nutshell. These are all great things to help make sure that she does her job effectively, killing things very quickly, and basically having no way for enemies to defend against what she wants to do overall. So that is it for now, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.